Have you wondered what we could do to improve the rate at which students can graduate college in 4 years or less with their bachelor's degree? There's a system that I truly believe in and that I've found called the Guided Pathways to Success, or GPS for short, that can really help students improve on the rate at which they can graduate on time and become better prepared for their future. According to CompleteCollege.org, only 34% of full-time students are graduating on time to get their bachelor's degree, which is just too high. We all want that number to be lower, and it's causing students to waste a lot of time and a lot of money on credit hours that are not necessary for them to graduate and are not preparing them adequately for their future. The GPS system helps keep students on track to graduate in 4 years to earn a bachelor's degree in their major. It does this essentially by weeding out and taking out unnecessary courses along the way, whether it is getting rid of courses that have been taken in the past that meet a certain requirement, or getting rid of courses that are just not essential to them specifically depending on their major, and courses that are just not necessary to prepare them for their future depending on their major and what they want to do. The GPS system, in a basic summary, is a program that is designed to better advise students on their major of choice using intrusive guidance. This is going to better mentor students on what classes they need to take and give them a better chance of graduating on time. It's going to make sure that they stay on the classes that they need depending on their major, find the major that is going to be the best for them, and allow them to graduate on time and save them money by not making them go for another semester or 2 semesters taking extra courses. And it's going to prepare them for their future. Advisors can help students pick a course of study based on their past academic history if the student isn't sure at the time what they want to major in. So the advisors can try to get to know the student specifically based on things such as their past academic history or things that would interest them, and try to find their major. Essentially, we want to cut out the undecided major, as the undecided major really slows people down. Most people that start out undecided usually don't graduate on time because they are kind of back and forth, taking a lot of unnecessary classes, and if we can try and hone in and find what is best for them, the sooner we can do that, it's going to be better for them, and they're going to be spending more time taking classes they enjoy, and it's going to be a quicker amount of time that they can take those classes, learn the material, and then get out into their career and be prepared for their future. Other components of the GPS system also help ensure that the student stays on track within their pathway. So in the pathway, there's going to be different milestone courses set in each individual's major's pathway, and if it's not met, then the advisor will be notified and the account will be put on hold so that they can set up a meeting, go over what's happening, what they can do to get back on track, stay on their progress. And there's also going to be block schedules, which is going to help them have a predictable schedule throughout the semester and allow them to better handle outside of class activities such as work study, clubs and organizations, or off-campus jobs. All these things are very important to students in their college career, and you would never want to cut them out of their career. It's very important to prepare them for the future. Lots of employers find these just as important as their grades when trying to find an employee, and if we can try and set these so that they don't interfere at all, it's going to allow students to be more likely to do well in their grades while still being able to handle their other activities and keep them on track as best as possible. A report done by the Education Advisory Board showed that many students who had poor academic advising and planning took anywhere from 135 to 158 credit hours when they graduated with their bachelor's. The typical amount to earn a bachelor's degree is 120 credit hours, so this means that many of these students are taking a year or more of extra classes and costing them a lot of money, costing them a lot of time, and is very ineffective for their overall career. About 2.5% of those credit hours come from transfers that did not transfer over effectively, or courses like when they had switched schools, the course didn't count when they switched to their new school. 7.1% were from failed courses, 12.9% were from unnecessary elective classes that didn't help them get their bachelor's degree, and 13.2% were from withdrawals or repeats, which a lot can be improved on by keeping them on the right path and keeping them where they want to be on their progress. Most advising meetings that happen in the first year often, especially with undecided students, don't help them get on the right pathway. And so with the GPS system, we really want to get them on that right pathway in that first year. According to the Educational Advisory Board, the student-to-advisor ratio is much too high, making it hard for advisors to really get to know their students. And they don't spend adequate time really getting to know them and knowing what he or she is good at and helping them get started, because they can't really know their students effectively. This essentially creates a lot of poor decisions made early in the student's college career when they first register for classes, and they end up taking classes that aren't important to the major that they later on decide, which if they could have found that sooner, then they wouldn't have wasted their time on these earlier classes that they had spent time on. A lot of times giving students a list of general education classes and electives can be very stressful at the beginning of college. It can be overwhelming when you first look at that list, and it just seems like a lot, and it feels like it's going to be difficult to attain. So with the GPS system, we would use a degree map for each specific major or program, and this list would give it an exact list of prerequisites and few choices of electives for the student to take, so that based on the major that we can help them find within the GPS system, we can put them exactly on their right track to success and get them graduated and get them the right classes taken that will most effectively prepare them for their future based on what they want to do. So with proper planning and advisement, students will better be able to narrow down majors that might interest them. And as I said earlier, the GPS system will totally eliminate the undecided major, which is very important. It slows anybody that goes to the undecided major. They definitely get slowed down by it, so we want to avoid that as much as possible. It will really help students take classes that will help them graduate on time, and rather than wandering from elective to elective trying to figure out what they want to do, if we want to try to figure that out as soon as possible. Also, according to CompleteCollege.org, students spend about $8 billion on excess credit hours alone per year. And so essentially that's saying an extra 12 credit hours of graduation. It might not sound like so much, but in the big picture within the entire country, that cost is about $6 billion for graduates and taxpayers in 1 year. This is all detrimental not just to the students but the entire economy. So if we can eliminate that as much as possible, we want to get students on the right track. We want to prepare them for the future. Using a guided pathway to apply certain prerequisites and electives to different programs Also reduces the chance of wandering, as I said earlier. And so with this map based on their major of courses, it can help students know which classes are and aren't necessary to take. It's going to make sure that they know right from the beginning, these are the classes I want to take, these are the classes that I need to prepare me, and these are the classes that I want to focus on. This can also reduce students overspending on their college education by taking classes that other systems might say are necessary, but in the GPS system, we don't believe that this class is necessary for their major. So many students today are getting wrapped up in taking classes we think we need, but we really don't. And we spend a lot of extra time and money and feel like we are still in the same place as we were freshman year with our schedule. With the Guided Pathways to Success system, it will help better advise students on what classes are needed for each major. Depending on their major, we will help them know what they want to do and what's going to help them. This is going to help students reduce wasting money on certain required classes and electives that really are just not helping them in the long run. The GPS system can even help undecided students narrow down a major that they would be good in or have interest in if right away they're not sure. I believe that the GPS system can really help students find out what they want to do and get them on that track right away. It'll eliminate classes taken that are not necessary, and it'll give you more classes to take that are necessary, that are going to help that specific individual. Essentially, I hope that soon we can get a better system in place, such as the GPS system, which I truly believe in, and start saving our students money and better preparing them for the future.